If you want to get even more information for the champion that I'm playing in the video, I have made a written guide that you can check out, and the link to it will be in the video description. The guide explains basically everything: runes, items, builds, game stages, and more. Each guide also has a unique matchup spreadsheet, and the link to the spreadsheet is on the guide itself. And once you click the matchup link, you will find build and level up orders, alongside tips and tricks for every single champion you can face. For example, if you struggle as Darius versus Anivia because she's not really picked top lane, you can go to the Darius guide, click on the matchup spreadsheet link, and you will see what I do versus her. The video description contains every single guide that I have currently available. These guides and matchup spreadsheets are completely free. You don't have to pay anything for them. The only thing you can do is actually like or dislike the actual guide, but that's it. I update both the guides and the matchup spreadsheets quite frequently, and I'd say around 98% of the total information on the guides and the matchup spreadsheets is completely up to date. With all that out of the way, please enjoy this video.
To know strength.
I personally don't like the Riven matchup at all. She has too many dashes and her burst is absolutely disgusting. On top of that, her short trading is also insane, because she can constantly use her E to block your Q, and then she can just dash into your face with one of her 3 Qs and then stun you and walk away. It's basically impossible to line up a pull on her unless she uses every single one of her dashes. But it is very difficult because Riven likes to buy early ability haste, and she might even rush Ionian boots, and then she's going to have even lower cooldowns. So what I like to do is play it really slowly and buy some defensive components early on. I go for Rylai's as my first item, and I will basically always take the Giant's Belt component unless I am super fed before my first recall. I will also go for a Chain Vest next or Bramble Vest and just sit on either component. And this is because I love the armor into Riven here. The Chain Vest gives you more armor, but the Bramble Vest gives you that reflect damage, which isn't that bad into Riven, and the Grievous wounds are also pretty good. And with Giant's Belt plus the Chain Vest or the Bramble Vest, she shouldn't be able to burst you that hard. That being said, don't actually underestimate her damage. It gets to be quite disgusting, especially her level 6 spike. Even if you're at 70% health with a full W shield up, if she actually recalls and gets a pickaxe, you basically die. You can also run Exhaust into her instead of Ignite if you want to, and that will give you more safety. What I want to do is wait for my full Rylai and then Serpent's Fang. And once I get both of them, it is going to be infinitely easier to fight her. Riven will usually rush Eclipse every single time, so the Eclipse shield combined with her E shield will give her a lot more sustainability. So I go Serpent's Fang second, and then I will cut both shields. Riven might do a 2-core of something like Eclipse into Sundered Sky, and that 2-core will cost way more than your Rylai plus Serpents. You can even squeeze in that Chain Vest or Bramble Vest, and her Sundered Sky plus Eclipse will cost more than your Serpent's Fang plus Rylai plus Bramble / Chain Vest.
If the gods will it, I will sing and by my will.
I was feeling pretty confident, so I decided to go for the blasting one in Amp Tome, and completely skipping over the Chain Vest or Bramble Vest.
have scarred the world, and it
Slain an enemy. Enemy killing spree.
run, and you will fall.
Cannot go unpunished.
Now I want to keep a permanent freeze on my side, because I have both Serpents and Rylai, and she still hasn't even completed one legendary item. But there is one issue here, and that is the fact that Riven can proxy extremely easily. She can just hop over a wall and then get into the proxy position. And if she does that, me holding a freeze doesn't actually do anything. So if she does go for a proxy, I want to try to stop her. But if I overchase, I'm going to lose a lot of minions myself. So the way you counter a proxy is by going for one yourself. If she gets into that proxy position and I simply can't stop it because I would lose too many minions myself, I also have to go for a proxy myself, and then I would recall and catch her when she still proxies my wave.
Themselves my equal.
This lane is all about spacing and dodging out his Qs, as well as the interaction his E has with your ultimate. If he is in his E, he can actually snap back when you ult, and then your ultimate will cancel. But if you actually manage to trap him inside the realm while his E is activated outside of Summoner's Rift, he won't be able to snap back until your ultimate is done. Even if he uses his E inside the realm, he still won't be able to snap back until the realm is over. So that is really good to keep in mind when fighting him. Other than that, there's not much else to it. His short rate power is rather good because he has that W shield and can Q3 you from max range, so then you might not be able to hit him. So ideally what you want to do is try to EQ him, as well as just general Q poke. If you want to go for an all-in, you have to space out as many Qs as possible, and try to dodge out of the way as well as you can. This is why I really like Ghost into Yone, because it allows you to dodge way more Qs, and that is the way he stacks up his knockup, and if you manage to avoid that, then you're probably going to win. What I typically like to do is rush Bramblevest and then go into my Rylai. And once I get to that Rylai power spike, it's really good for me, because Yone will be slowed and I will have the movement speed from approach velocity, so I will be quite quick into him. After that, I will most likely go for plated steel caps, and then I can either finish the Bramblevest into a Thornmail or maybe go for something like a Ronduin's, which is really good against him once he buys more crit. And then afterwards, I can go for something like an Experimental Hexblade or a Nashor's Tooth, maybe even a Bloodletters. You want to try to abuse him at your Rylai spike as much as you can, because the later the game goes, the more insane his damage becomes. He will be a massive threat to your team later on. You can also try to ult him in the middle of his ultimate animation, and then he won't be able to snap back with his E. Or you can try to ulti him in the middle of his Q3 animation. But there is an issue to this. The more attack speed Yone has, the faster his Qs come out, and that includes his Q3. And once he caps out that attack speed, he will be too quick. So even if you ulti him in the middle of that animation, the Q3 will be cast so quick that he can just use his E snapback anyway. So be careful on that. His Blade of the Ruin King spike is also extremely deadly, so be cautious on that as well. The damage it provides is absolutely nuts, especially if you skip over the Bramblevest. You will need that extra armor to not get turned into cheese. It shreds you down so fast if you don't have bonus armor. Here I end up doing a really bad play. I wanted to Q flash him to kill him, but instead I misclicked and clicked flash first and then I Q'd, and I end up dying from it. This was completely avoidable and it was entirely my fault. I was kind of upset about it, but I wasn't super angry and frustrated over it.
Killing spree. Slain an enemy.
The early game will be the toughest part of this matchup, and this is because of Ornn perma-poking you. He's gonna perma-Q you and then use his W and attack you to proc the brittle and then run away. And he will either use his E to distance away or will just walk away. If he just walks away, you can't even pull him because the moment you do, he E's away. You have to try to cancel him out of his E, but that is usually really difficult to do reliably. There is also the fact that he can actually save his W, and if he does that, you can't pull him. And his W also makes him immune to your ultimate. So for example, if he uses uses his ultimate and then you want to ulti him so that he can't reactivate it, he can press his W and that will cancel your ultimate and then you will most likely lose the 1v1. The most important part of this lane is to not get poked out. Play it extremely slowly and only short trade if your W is up. Maybe even try to tackle his mana. If he doesn't run mana flow ban like this Ornn did, he is going to run out of mana rather quickly if he constantly spams that basic combo of QWE. If you want, in the early game, you can actually buy a null magic mantle and sit on it. Most of his damage is actually magic damage, and it's percent health damage. His ultimate is magic and his W is magic as well. His W is percent health damage and the brittle auto attack damage is also percent health damage. So you can buy a null magic mantle early on and actually have a lot more sustainability into him. His Q and E are still physical damage, but the main damage tool he has is his W and the brittle auto activation. So if you get that MR, it's gonna be much easier for you to survive him. You can also get Giant's Belt into null magic mantle, and then you will have a ton of extra health and that MR. Combined with your W, shield, and heal, you should always be able to make him go out of mana reliably. The ideal thing to do here is to just wait for your Rylai. And once you get that Rylai, you can freeze on your side of the lane every single time. And if he ever tries to walk up, you can fight him. And then he won't even be able to escape you, because the Rylai slow combined with the approach velocity speed means you should be able to chase him down no matter what. So he will need someone else to come help him break the freeze. But if you have your ultimate up, you might be able to turn that around and kill one of them. And maybe even survive. Try not to teamfight versus Ornn because his power in teamfights is insane. His ultimate has huge pick potential. And unless you can use your ultimate on a more important target to kill them fast, it's basically never worth it to actually teamfight against him. You can also try to ult him to deny his ult, but if he just saves his W and cancels it out, it's really bad for you. After Rylai, you can go for a Bloodletter's Curse or a Liandry's if you want, especially since Ornn will most likely hyperstack MR. He might go for something like Kaenic Rookern into Hollow Radiance, or maybe Kaenic Rookern into Force of Nature. So Bloodletters would be really good, but Liandry's is also an option. I'm going to be really aggressive here and walk way past my own minion wave. And this is because I want to deny my cannon minion XP. I will also lose the cannon minion, but unlike him, I will actually get the experience. So we both lose the gold, but he also loses the XP while I still gain the XP for his cannon. Now that I have my Rylais, I want to perma-freeze on my side of the wave. So what I do is go behind his wave and just sit there. And if he lets my wave crash into his turret, then it's gonna be a perma-freeze on my side. Sadly, the Karthus is actually here to stop me, so I'm not able to get it off right now. But I can attempt this later on as well. Now I go for another attempt, and this time I actually succeeded it. The only way he will ever be able to break this freeze is if someone comes here to help him. If not, this will be perma-frozen and he will never be able to farm. If he walks up to farm, he will easily lose 60 to 70% of his health. And if I actually use my ultimate on him, it's basically a kill.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Ally has been slain.
Initially, I was thinking of buying Bloodletter's Curse here, because the Ornn is stacking a ton of magic resist, so it would be really good for me to have that shred. But then I thought about it a bit more, and I came to the conclusion that Riftmaker might actually be better, simply because I actually want to not fight him here, and just perma-sit on side lane as I normally do against them. And this is because I am extremely strong right now. I want to actively look for team fights instead of just sitting on side lane, and so I take Riftmaker instead. And the reason I do it is because it gives me that Omnivamp effect, which is really good for just sustainability, but after I go for this Riftmaker, my next item was going to be Spirit Visage, so that Riftmaker Omnivamp will be amplified by the Spirit Visage. I still had the option of going Bloodletters, but I thought Riftmaker might be better here. Thank you guys for joining me in this video. I hope you found the information useful, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully very soon.
I am favored by the gods and awaited in the Hall of Bones.